Have you ever felt it? That quiet, unnerving sense that you are a passenger in your own life? You wake up, and an invisible current pulls you through the day, through the morning fog, the afternoon rush, the evening exhaustion. You do the things you're supposed to do, you follow the path you are supposed to follow, but at night, when the house is quiet and the world is asleep, a question echoes in the silence. Is this it? Is this all I am? Your entire existence, the way your heart beats in your chest, the quality of thoughts that drift through your mind, the very texture of your reality and every result it produces, all of it. It all boils down to one simple, terrifyingly powerful force: habit. The small, almost imperceptible rituals you perform every single day are not just actions. They are chisels, carving away at the marble of your future. You are the sculptor, and your habits are the tools. Most of us have been taught to look for the earthquake, the lightning strike, the one grand moment of breakthrough that will change everything. We wait for the lottery ticket, the lucky break, the fated encounter, but the truth, the profound and liberating truth that the greatest souls in history understood, is that destiny is not found in the thunder. It is forged in the silence. It is built in the mundane, microscopic details of your daily existence. It is constructed in the things you do when no one is watching, the choices you make when you are tired, the promises you keep to yourself. And hidden within this tapestry of daily rituals, there is one habit, just one, a singular, powerful shift in your being that, once mastered, can recalibrate your entire life, seemingly overnight. Most people are ghosts haunting their own lives. They are trapped in invisible cages built from patterns they are not even aware of. They wake up to the shriek of an alarm clock, and their first act of the day is not one of conscious creation, but one of reluctant reaction. They stumble through a routine that feels less like a choice and more like a sentence. They are marionettes, and the strings are being pulled by the demands of others, by the notifications on their screens, by the fleeting whispers of their own undisciplined emotions. They squander their precious, non-refundable moments on meaningless distractions. They allow the noise of the world to dictate the melody of their focus. They let fear, comfort, and doubt make their most critical decisions for them. And then, at the end of the week, the month, the year, they look around in a state of bewildered disappointment and ask the same soul-crushing questions. Why is nothing changing for me? Why do I feel so profoundly stuck, like my feet are encased in concrete? Why does that brilliant, shimmering dream of success always feel like a distant star on the horizon, beautiful to look at, but impossibly out of reach? The answer is simple, yet it eludes them. Because there is a fundamental law of the universe that separates those who conquer from those who merely cope. There is one habit, a master key that, if you learn to turn it with consistency and conviction, will unlock every other door of potential, transforming not just your results, but your mindset, your discipline, your spirit, and your entire relationship with life itself. And the most beautiful part, it is not some esoteric secret reserved for the gifted few. It is not a complex formula that requires a genius intellect. It is something so simple, so accessible, that you can begin to implement it the very second this sentence ends. But most people never will. The habit is this: the complete and utter reclamation of your time and your energy. It is the act of declaring sovereignty over your own existence. It is the conscious decision to stop being a leaf blown about by the winds of circumstance and to become the wind itself. It is the refusal to let the day control you. It is the unwavering commitment to shield your focus from the thieves of distraction. It is the profound discipline of ensuring your actions are born from intention, not from the volatile chaos of your feelings. It is the moment you plant your flag in the soil of your life and declare, with every fiber of your being, I am in control here. Every minute, every thought, every action belongs to me, no matter what. This one singular shift doesn't just change a few things, it re-engineers your reality from the ground up. Because the instant you seize the controls, you begin to move with a power and a purpose you never knew you possessed. You stop hemorrhaging your life force into activities, people, and thoughts that do not serve your ascent. You stop making critical life decisions from a place of fear, anger, or temporary pleasure. You stop sitting by the side of the road waiting for the magical chariot of motivation to arrive, and instead you begin to walk. And in the walking, you build a relentless, unstoppable momentum. And the results? My God, the results happen with a velocity that feels supernatural. It feels like magic. Almost overnight, you feel a change deep in your bones. You think with a new clarity. You act with a new conviction. You begin to move toward your most sacred goals with a laser-like focus and an intensity that electrifies your very soul. And while the rest of the world is drifting, reacting, complaining, and making excuses, you are in the arena. You are executing. You are evolving. You are winning. The reason this one habit holds such earth-shattering power is because it is not an isolated practice. It is the master root from which all other virtues grow. It is the foundation upon which the entire skyscraper of a successful life is built. It dictates how you greet the dawn of a new day. It governs how you respond to the inevitable storms and setbacks that life will throw your way. It is the furnace that forges the steel of your discipline. It is the engine that generates the unstoppable force of your momentum. It is, without exaggeration, the source code of all high achievement. And yet, tragically, the vast majority of people will live and die without ever truly mastering it. Most of the world lives in a trance, a state of perpetual autopilot. They allow their old, inherited, and often destructive habits to steer the ship of their life, all while they sit below deck, complaining about the direction of the waves. They are slaves to their own programming, prisoners in a jail of their own making. But the moment you awaken from that slumber, the second you decide, with unwavering certainty, that every single sunrise is a gift that belongs to you, the instant you stop allowing the siren calls of distraction, the turbulence of your emotions, and the seductive whispers of your excuses to dictate your next move, your entire universe begins to bend in your favor. So the only question that truly matters is this: are you truly ready to take the wheel? Are you finished with reacting to the script of life and finally ready to pick up the pen and write your own? Are you prepared to build the one habit that will not just change some things but will fundamentally transform everything? Because if you are truly, deeply ready, then you are standing at the threshold of a new existence. You are about to unlock a level of focus, a depth of discipline, and a magnitude of success that most people will only ever read about in books or watch in movies. And I promise you this: once you taste that power, you will never ever go back. The exact moment you make the conscious, soul-deep decision to seize absolute control of your time and your energy, the entire landscape of your life begins to change. The transformation is immediate and profound. You stop waking up in a fog of ambiguity, passively waiting to see what the day will throw at you. You stop pouring your precious, finite life force into the black holes of activities that do not nourish your soul or advance your mission. You stop allowing your destiny to be dictated by the turbulence of your emotions, the relentless bombardment of distractions, and the chaotic whims of outside forces. In that single powerful moment of decision, you become something different. You become intentional. You become deliberate. You become the architect of your days, the master of your moments. And that one shift in your internal posture, that is the granite foundation upon which every great success story in the history of humanity has been built. Most people will go their entire lives without ever truly comprehending how much of their potential is being systematically squandered. They drift through their days, their weeks, their years in a state of chronic reaction. They are firefighters, constantly putting out the small, insignificant blazes of daily life, never realizing that they are the ones handing out the matches. They allow procrastination to become their default operating system. They manufacture intricate and convincing excuses for why today is not the day to begin. They permit their fleeting moods, their tiredness, their boredom, their anxiety to determine whether they will take action on the very things that could save them. And because of this passive submission to the currents of mediocrity, they remain anchored in place. They look at the calendar and wonder why they are not making progress. They feel a deep, gnawing anxiety that they are falling behind. They watch the seasons change and feel the terrifying sensation that life, their one and only precious life, is slipping through their fingers like sand. But the winners, the champions, the legends, they do not live this way. They do not drift. They do not react. They do not allow their magnificent ship to be pulled into 100 different shallow harbors. They awaken with a blueprint. They seize control from the very instant they open their eyes. They possess a crystalline clarity about what must be accomplished, and they move to execute that plan with a resolve that is deaf to the protests of their own weakness. They execute whether they feel like it or not. And right there, in that last sentence, lies the chasm that separates the amateur from the master. Most people operate under the disastrous illusion that they must wait for the feeling of motivation to strike before they can take meaningful action. They think they need to feel inspired, energized, and passionate to begin their work. But the winners, the people who actually shape the world, understand a far deeper, more powerful truth. Action is the spark that ignites motivation. It is not the other way around. Action is the kindling, and motivation is the fire that follows. If you wait until you feel perfectly ready, perfectly inspired, perfectly motivated, you will wait for the rest of your life. But if you begin anyway, if you force your body to move forward even when your mind is screaming for you to stop, if you take that first step regardless of the internal resistance, something magical begins to happen. The motivation you were searching for arrives. The momentum you craved begins to build. And suddenly, the monumental task that felt utterly impossible yesterday becomes the effortless, automatic warm-up of today. So the real, undiluted question you must ask yourself is this: who is truly sitting on the throne of your time? Is it you, or is it the endless legion of your distractions? Because make no mistake, if you do not consciously and deliberately control your time, something or someone else will gladly do it for you. This modern world we live in is a battlefield for your attention. It is a meticulously engineered landscape of things designed to hijack your focus, to steal your precious seconds, to keep you entertained, outraged, and sedated. There is an endless buffet of mindless entertainment, an infinite scroll of unsolicited opinions, an unrelenting tsunami of noise. And if you are not vigilant, if you are not a ruthless guardian of your own mind, you will spend the entirety of your one and only life being pulled further and further away from the things that truly matter. That is precisely why this one habit is the ultimate superpower, because the very second you stop reacting and start commanding, the instant you stop being a consumer of distraction and become a creator of your own reality, you immediately separate yourself from 99% of the population. You stop waiting for the world to change, and you become the force of change yourself. You stop hoping for a lucky break, and you begin to manufacture your own success. You stop wondering why things are not working out for you, and you take the raw materials of your life and you make them work. This is the reason why true winners have a reverence for time that borders on religious. They understand in the marrow of their bones that time is the most valuable and unforgiving currency they will ever possess. Money that is lost can be earned back. Opportunities that are missed will often come around again in a different form. But time, once a second has ticked by, it is gone. It is vapor. It is an echo in the halls of eternity, never to be reclaimed. And the men and women who truly grasp this reality, the people who protect their time with the ferocity of a mother protecting her child, the ones who understand that their life depends on it, those are the people who inevitably rise to the top of every field of human endeavor. So, how do you begin this transformation? How do you make this monumental shift from being a servant of time to its master? It starts not with 1,000 complex steps, but with one simple, powerful, and non-negotiable decision. From this moment forward, you are in command, not your fleeting emotions, not the endless digital distractions, not the opinions or expectations of other people. You. This means you begin to erect powerful boundaries around your life. You start saying a firm, unapologetic no to the requests, activities, and obligations that do not serve your highest purpose. You stop bleeding your hours away on things that do not truly matter in the grand scheme of your life. You create a clear, strategic plan for every single day, and you execute that plan with the discipline of a soldier, no matter how you feel when the alarm goes off. You take radical, absolute ownership of everything, your schedule, your focus, your energy. And once you do that, once you truly step into that role as the commander of your own life, you start to notice something extraordinary. The results you've been chasing for years begin to materialize faster than you ever dreamed possible. Because the hidden truth is that most people do not have a time problem, they have a focus problem. They believe they don't have enough hours in the day. But the reality is, they are not using the hours they do have with any degree of intelligence or intention. They are leaking time. Every moment spent scrolling mindlessly, every minute wasted in hesitation, every hour consumed by tasks that produce no meaningful result. It's a slow, steady hemorrhage of their potential. It's 1,000 tiny cuts that ultimately drain the life out of their ambitions. But when you eliminate those leaks, when you seal the cracks through which your focus has been escaping, when you take absolute control of where your time and energy are allocated, something incredible happens. Suddenly, you discover that you can achieve more in a single focused day than most people accomplish in an entire week of distracted, chaotic effort. Suddenly, you begin to make quantum leaps of progress, moving forward at a pace that feels exhilarating and almost unbelievable. Suddenly, your life is no longer a slow, frustrating crawl, but a powerful, accelerating journey toward everything you've ever wanted. And it all comes back to that one fundamental decision. Are you in command, or are you allowing your life to be controlled by the whims of circumstance? Because the people who win, the people who fundamentally alter the trajectory of their lives, the people who reach the highest echelons of success and fulfillment, they are not waiting. They are not hoping. They are not making excuses. They are in the driver's seat. They are executing. And if you are truly serious about change, if you are genuinely committed to taking your life to a level you have only dared to imagine, then you must do the same. No more wasted minutes. No more capitulating to distraction. No more allowing your feelings to be the dictator of your day. From this moment and for all the moments that follow, you are in control. Taking sovereign control of your time and energy is not about the brute force mentality of simply working harder. It is a far more elegant and powerful philosophy. It is about working smarter. It is about becoming a strategist of your own life, being ruthlessly deliberate with every single moment you are gifted. Because the fundamental truth that most people miss is that time itself is never the problem. How you choose to invest it is. The average person is tragically unaware of how much of their precious life force is being systematically wasted on the altar of triviality. They tell themselves they are busy, but they are not productive. They believe they are working hard, but in reality, they are spending more of their day entangled in the webs of distraction than they are making tangible progress toward their goals. If you genuinely want to transform your life and do it with breathtaking speed, you must make a critical shift in your mindset. You must move from a culture of being busy to a discipline of being effective. You must stop investing your hours in things that do not move the needle forward. You must abandon the need to do things just to feel the illusion of productivity, and instead, commit yourself only to those actions that actually produce meaningful, measurable results. The true masters of life do not spend their days in a state of reaction. They do not wake up and allow the currents of the world to carry them wherever they may flow. They begin each day as a deliberate act of creation. They have a blueprint. They know with absolute certainty what must be accomplished for the day to be a victory, and they move to execute that plan without hesitation, without negotiation, and without squandering a single joule of mental or emotional energy on things that do not matter. And that right there is the fatal flaw for most people. They begin their day already on the defensive, in reaction mode. They allow the world, their email inbox, the news headlines, the social media feeds, to set their priorities for them instead of courageously setting their own. And before they even realize what has happened, the most valuable part of their day, the golden hours of the morning, has vanished into thin air, and they have accomplished nothing that truly moves them closer to their dreams. But the winners, they move with a different rhythm. They understand that the way they command the first hour of their day sets the unshakable tone for everything that follows. They do not pollute the pristine canvas of their morning mind with the trivialities of television, the demands of email, or the chaotic noise of the outside world. They use that sacred time to calibrate their focus, to sharpen their mind like a blade, and to seize absolute control of their state. And that is the pivotal shift. Do you begin your day in a position of power, in command, or are you letting the army of distractions conquer your territory before the battle has even begun? Because how you start is the undeniable prophecy of how you will finish. If you wake up with unshakable intention, if you seize control from the very first breath, if you execute your most important task before the world has a chance to pull you into 1,000 different directions, you will achieve more in a single morning than most people will in an entire week of chaotic reactivity. And here's the raw, unvarnished truth that you must embrace. Discipline is infinitely more powerful than motivation. Motivation is a fair-weather friend. It is a fleeting, unreliable emotion. Some days you will leap out of bed feeling like a titan, energized, focused, and ready to conquer the world. But on other days, many other days, you will feel tired, uninspired, and utterly unmotivated. And it is in those moments of weakness that most people fail. They have been conditioned to believe that they need to feel like taking action before they can actually take action. But the winners know a secret. They know that action is the parent of motivation, not the other way around. If you only put in the work on the days you feel motivated, you will never be consistent. And if you are not consistent, you will never win. It's as simple as that. The key, the absolute master key to unlocking your potential, is to train yourself to execute your plan, regardless of how you feel. The key is to forge action into a non-negotiable habit, so that even on the days when you are exhausted, even on the days when you feel utterly defeated, even on the days when every excuse in the book is screaming at you to stop, you keep moving forward anyway. Because that is the razor's edge that separates those who succeed from those who merely dream. The ones who win are the ones who do the work in the dark when no one is clapping. They are the ones who show up day after day after day with a consistency that is terrifying to their competition. They are the ones who have mastered the art of detaching their actions from their feelings. They move with a quiet, unshakable purpose. They are utterly ruthless in the protection of their time. They are unshakable in the fortress of their discipline. So if you want to change your life and change it now, you must make a decision that echoes in your soul. No more waiting for the right mood. No more negotiating with your own weakness. No more squandered time. From this exact moment forward, you execute, no matter what. This means you do not begin your day by inviting distractions into your mind. You begin it by locking in your focus. You do not wait for the feeling of motivation to arrive. You take action and you command it to appear. You do not allow your emotions to dictate your behavior. You move forward on the path of your principles, regardless of the weather in your mind. And the more you practice this, the more you flex this muscle of discipline, the more powerful you become. Because once discipline solidifies into a habit, your entire reality shifts. Once you train yourself to move without hesitation, to act without needing to feel inspired, to execute without seeking external validation, you become, for all intents and purposes, unstoppable. And here is the precipice where most people stumble and fall. They tragically underestimate the sheer, raw, unrelenting level of focus it takes to truly win in any meaningful area of life. They live under the delusion that they can somehow keep one foot in the world of distractions and one foot in the world of discipline and still miraculously achieve their grandest ambitions. But that is not how the universe works. If you want real, profound, life-altering change, you must go all in. You must be willing to declare war on mediocrity. That means conducting a ruthless audit of your life and cutting out everything and everyone that steals your focus. That means learning to say no with confidence and without apology to the things that do not align with your sacred mission. That means systematically removing the distractions, the excuses, and the time-wasting habits that have been acting as a lead weight on your potential for years. Because the winners, they are absolutely savage in the protection of their time and attention. They do not waste a single second on trivialities. They do not allow their minds to drift into unproductive territory. They do not permit the noise of the world to pull them away from the signal of their goals. They lock in, they move with the precision of a surgeon, they execute with an unwavering focus that is almost terrifying to behold. And that is why they win, because when you surgically remove all distractions from your life, when you focus your entire being only on what truly matters, the results happen with a speed that defies logic. Your progress doesn't just inch forward, it accelerates into a blur. You start seeing tangible changes in days that used to take months. You start making moves that feel like quantum leaps, and that is the secret they never tell you. You do not need more time. You need more focus. You need more discipline. You need more unshakable intention in every single thing you do. And once you make that sacred shift, your life will never ever be the same again. Once you systematically eliminate the parasitic weeds of distraction and take absolute command of your time, every single facet of your life begins to shift into a higher alignment. You stop squandering your precious mental and emotional energy on things that have no bearing on your future. You stop getting ensnared in the dramatic, time-consuming affairs that do not serve your ultimate goals. You stop giving your life force away to people, places, and habits that act as vampires, draining you of your vitality. And the inevitable result of this purification process? Your progress does not just speed up, it goes into hyperdrive. It accelerates with a force that will astonish you. Most people will never even brush against the edges of their full potential because they are too damn busy doing things that do not move them 1 inch forward. They make the tragic mistake of confusing motion with progress. They confuse the feeling of being busy with the reality of being productive. But the raw truth is, just because you are doing something does not mean you are getting anywhere meaningful. If you are not careful, you can spend entire decades of your life spinning your wheels, pouring out sweat and effort, but never actually making any real, tangible progress toward a life of your own design. The winners move with a different kind of intelligence. They do not just work hard, they work with a deep sense of purpose. They do not just try to stay busy, they are obsessed with staying effective. They do not just grind for the sake of feeling like they are grinding. They ensure that every single ounce of their energy is strategically invested in activities that move them closer to their North Star. And that is the master key: intentional effort. Every move you make, every decision you weigh, every action you take, it must be in perfect alignment with your mission. Because if it is not, you are wasting the irreplaceable currency of your life. If an activity does not directly serve your highest goal, it does not deserve your sacred attention. If it does not push you forward on your chosen path, then by definition, it is pulling you backward. There is no neutral ground on the battlefield of ambition. That is why you must become absolutely ruthless with how you allocate your time. You must develop the habit of constantly, relentlessly asking yourself the hard questions. Is this action helping me move forward? Is this conversation getting me closer to where I want to be? Is this a necessary and strategic use of my finite energy? And if the answer is anything but a resounding, unequivocal yes, then you have identified a distraction. It is an enemy to your progress, and it needs to be eliminated from your life with the swiftness and finality of a surgeon removing a cancer. Most people will never have the courage to do this. They are terrified to cut things out of their life. They are afraid to say no when the time comes, fearing they might offend someone or miss out on something trivial. They lack the fortitude to set and enforce powerful boundaries. And because of this weakness, this lack of conviction, they remain permanently stuck. They allow the thieves of distraction to rob them of their progress day after day. They let unimportant, low-value tasks consume the golden hours of their time. They permit people, habits, and routines that hold them down to remain in their lives, preventing them from ever becoming the person they were born to be. But the winners, They are absolutely brutal about protecting the sanctity of their time and focus. They do not entertain things that do not serve their purpose. They do not waste a single drop of their energy on people who drain their spirit. They do not allow themselves to get caught up in the petty dramas and meaningless conflicts that do not move them one step closer to their vision. And that is the fundamental reason why they rise while everyone else remains stagnant. So I ask you, look at your life right now with unflinching honesty. Where is your time actually going? Are you investing it with the wisdom of a master, or are you letting the pickpockets of distraction steal it from you second by second? Are you locked in on the things that truly matter, or are you scattering your attention across a dozen trivialities? Are you moving forward deliberately with a plan and a purpose, or are you just floating along passively hoping that someday, somehow, things will magically change? Because winners do not hope for progress. They create it with their own two hands. They do not wait for success to find them. They build it, brick by disciplined brick. They do not let life happen to them. They take control and happen to life. And the moment you adopt that warrior mindset, the very instant you commit to cutting out every single thing that does not serve your sacred mission, your life will change with a velocity that feels like a miracle. Because now you are no longer being pulled in 100 different directions. You are no longer losing precious time to things that do not matter. You are no longer leaking your vital energy into ventures that yield no return. Now, you are focused. You are locked in. You are moving with the precision of a guided missile. And when you move through the world that way, there is not a force on earth that can stop you. And here is the secret that separates the momentary flash of inspiration from a lifetime of achievement. This is not a one-time decision you make and then forget. It is a daily commitment. It is a sacred vow that you renew every single morning when you wake up. You must rise each day and consciously make the choice to protect your time, to guard your focus, and to move with unwavering intention. You must train your mind to see distractions not as harmless diversions, but for what they truly are. They are a trap. They are a thief in the night. They are a roadblock meticulously designed by the forces of mediocrity to slow you down and keep you average. Most people fail because they lack consistency. They start off with a burst of fiery motivation, but then, slowly, they let the small, seemingly insignificant things creep back into their lives. They allow one little distraction to take hold, then another and another. They lose their laser focus. They get caught up in the deafening noise of the world again. And before they even know what has happened, they find themselves right back where they started, trapped in the same old cycles of frustration and regret. But the winners, they do not let that happen. They understand that momentum is a precious and fragile thing, and they protect it with their lives. They stay sharp. They stay vigilant, they stay disciplined, and because they maintain that unwavering standard day in and day out, their progress never stalls. And here's the beautiful, liberating truth. Once you have built a critical mass of momentum, everything in your life gets easier. The hardest part is always the beginning. The hardest part is making that initial brutal cut to eliminate the distractions. The hardest part is getting your mind and body accustomed to operating at a higher, more disciplined level. But once you do, once you have successfully installed the habit of focus, the software of discipline, and the operating system of intentional effort, it becomes automatic. It ceases to be a struggle and simply becomes who you are. And when that transformation occurs, when that becomes your new identity, you become an unstoppable force of nature, because now you are no longer at war with yourself. Now you are not wasting energy negotiating with the temptations of distraction. Now you are not letting the small, insignificant annoyances of life steal your time and poison your energy. Now you own your time. You control your focus. You decide what and who is worthy of your energy. And once you reach that elevated state of being, success is no longer a possibility. It is an absolute inevitability. The sacred habit of taking full and complete control of your time and your energy is not just a productivity hack. It is a profound spiritual practice. It is not about cramming more tasks into your day or simply working harder. It is about evolving into the kind of person who would never, ever waste a single precious second of their life. It is about developing a personal standard for yourself that is so high, so disciplined, so intensely focused that the trivial distractions of the world can no longer find any space to exist in your reality. And once you reach that rarefied level of being, the entire game changes. Most people go through life operating at half speed in a state of semi-consciousness. They do what is required of them, but never an ounce more. They work hard when it's easy and convenient, but the moment they feel tired or bored, they slow down and seek comfort. They allow the endless barrage of small distractions to pull them away from their most important work, and then they have the audacity to wonder why they are not making any real progress. But the winners, the legends, they do not move like that. Winners move with the precision and grace of a master craftsman. They protect their time with a ferocity that others find extreme. They know, in the very core of their soul, that every second they allow to be wasted is a piece of their destiny they have willingly thrown into the fire. They do not allow the small, insignificant details of life to hijack their focus. They refuse to squander their finite emotional and mental energy on things that do not contribute to their mission. They move deliberately, they move consistently, they move relentlessly, every single day. And that unwavering, fanatical discipline is precisely what separates them from the masses. Because the truth is, most people are simply not willing to pay this price. Most people are too comfortable, too addicted to their distractions. They say they want success, they claim they want a better life, but they are not willing to perform the necessary surgery to remove everything that is slowing them down and holding them back. They think they can somehow have it both ways. They can still waste their time, still give in to their emotional whims, still live a life of divided attention, and somehow, miraculously, win. But that is not how this universe is wired. If you want to truly, fundamentally change the fabric of your life, and do it overnight, you must become obsessed. You must become obsessed with the systematic elimination of all wasted time. You must be absolutely brutal with what you allow to occupy your mind and your calendar. You must be fearless in cutting out anything and everything that does not move you forward. And once you do that, once you fully and completely commit to doing only what serves your highest mission, you will begin to see results so quickly and so powerfully that it will feel like you've tapped into some kind of cosmic cheat code. Because now, you are no longer moving at the same slow, plodding speed as everyone else. Now you are accelerating. Now you are building a terrifying momentum. And here is the ultimate secret. Momentum is the most powerful and mystical force in the universe of success. Once you have it on your side, you become virtually unstoppable. Once you are moving at full speed, once you are operating at your maximum level of discipline, once you have surgically removed every single thing that could possibly slow you down, there is nothing left in your path but pure, unadulterated progress. And that is why the winners win. Because they do not take mental breaks from their focus. They do not take days off from their discipline. They do not allow themselves to drift, not even for a single solitary second. They live in a state of absolute command over their time and their energy, every single day, without fail, without exception. And if you commit to this one sacred habit, if you truly take control, if you truly eliminate the cancer of distraction, if you truly refuse to waste another precious moment of your one and only life, I promise you, your world will transform faster and more completely than you ever dared to imagine. Your time is the most valuable and sacred possession you will ever have. It is the raw material from which your entire life is crafted. It is the one thing you can never get back, the one currency that once spent is gone forever. It is the ultimate dividing line that separates those who achieve greatness from those who live lives of quiet desperation. It is the one asset that, if you learn to use it correctly, with intention and precision, will make you an unstoppable force of nature. But the tragic, heartbreaking truth is that most people will never take conscious control of it. They will allow their days to be squandered on things that do not matter. They will permit the endless parade of distractions to slow their march toward their dreams. They will drift through life like a ship without a rudder, reacting to the waves instead of creating them. And because of this passive surrender, they will never come close to reaching their magnificent potential. But you do not have to be like them. You can draw a line in the sand, right here, right now, and decide that from this moment forward, you will take absolute, unwavering control. You can decide that you will stop letting the thieves of distraction steal your energy and your future. You can decide that you will stop manufacturing excuses and start manufacturing results. You can decide that you will stop waiting for the mythical perfect moment to arrive and start executing with power and purpose every single day. Because success is not a matter of luck. It is not a matter of raw talent. It is a matter of relentless focus, unshakable discipline, and terrifying consistency. It is about protecting your time as if your entire future depends on it, because it does. So ask yourself the question that truly matters. Are you in control? Are you using every single second with the wisdom and precision it deserves? Are you systematically eliminating everything and everyone from your life that does not serve your sacred mission? Because if you are not, you are falling behind. If you are not fully locked in, fully disciplined, and fully focused, you are not just wasting time, you are wasting your life. So do not waste another second. Do not let another precious day slip through your fingers, unhonored and unused. Do not allow the distractions, the emotions, or the deafening noise of the outside world to pull you off your course. From this moment forward, and for all of your moments to come, you are in control. And once you fully commit to that truth, once you decide with the fire of your entire soul that nothing will steal your time, nothing will slow you down, and nothing will stop you, your life will change with a speed and a power that will feel like a dream.